This team cannot turn the ball over because they're going to have a struggle to rebound.
Chicago touched it last in the loose ball battle as Hornacek replaces Isley, so Utah will have it from underneath. Stockton driving, reverse, can't finish it. Anderson is there and throws it away.
Doug, it doesn't surprise me that both these teams are playing bad right now, because when you're trying to close a series, your emotions are driving 100 miles an hour. And Utah right now is in a desperate position because they're trying to hang in there. So when you get that emotionally wound up, it's hard to keep your timing in rhythm. In the second half, they'll settle down, though.
Utah with 10 turnovers. Chicago with 6. Make it 7. Stockton comes away with it, and Kerr fouls him.
The Bulls are so good defensively, they can sink in the post and help. So the reason Jerry Sloan has gone to a smaller lineup is to have better ball handling on the floor. But with 9 turnovers, that's not working for him. These guys, Isaiah, as you said, they've got to settle down. Make that 10 turnovers now. I'm sorry.
And a whistle from Bennett Salvatore. An illegal defense warning against Chicago.
So you got a good ball handling team out there for Utah and a good offensive unit. However, now you're really small in the backcourt, and either Hornacek or Stockton is forced to guard Kukoc or Jordan.
The ball was kicked. Kerr doesn't think so. Utah's going to keep it with a fresh 24. We are 4 minutes and 13 seconds into the second quarter, and each team has scored 2 points in this period. That isn't all good defense. Some of it is poor execution. Hornacek, and they throw it away again. Their 11th turnover.
If Chicago is shooting any kind of percentage at all, they'd be up 15 points right now. If Chicago's shooting poorly, Utah's not getting any shots.
To call this ragged would be kind. Rodman screening for Michael, and he's bumped and fouled. It's number 1 on Antoine Carr. Carr was asked about the Game 3 blowout when they lost by 42. They asked him, have you ever been in a game like that? He said, hey, I used to play for the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, I have. Here's Burrell losing it. They just trade turnovers in a very curious second period. Hornacek driving on Jordan. Finding Anderson. Now Carr open for the jumper that rattles in and out. The tip isn't there either. Out of bounds to Chicago. Maybe both these teams need a break. We will provide it. Back after this.
Every player has a weakness. Tonight, Mr. Grant Hill.
2 points, but they're not getting any shots at the basket. You see the turnover by Shandon Anderson out of the corner. Antoine Carr, Howard Isley with the unforced error. Jeff Hornacek in a hurry leaves his feet. Another turnover. When we look at the story, Game 1, the Jazz won with only 13. Game 4, it was a game right into the last minute. These 2 games were trouble when you get that many turnovers, and tonight, Utah's on pace to do that.
And Doug, how about this? Utah had been doing very poorly on the offensive boards earlier in the series. Well, in this first half, they already have 9 offensive rebounds, but 0 second chance points. Malone and Pippen both back in. Chicago up by 2. Pippen around Morris, and Morris reaches in and fouls him. Picking up his first. The score was 18-16 after 1. It's 20-18 almost halfway through the second. Jordan just 1 of 6 from the floor. Changes that a bit.
must guard against here is a big Chicago run. I sense that they're getting ready to try to turn on the Jets.
Anderson connects on the turnaround.
That's been the whole series. Anderson in the block. They go to him, and he's been able to score down there. He's been a weapon. Actually, he's been their best low post player in this series.
As Pippen backs away. It'll be Michael to beat the shot clock and hit it.
I say that's what you talked about, Michael. 2 field goals in a row. If Jerry Sloan feels a spurt, he's got to use his timeouts wisely tonight.
Anderson slings it into the backcourt and tack on another turnover.
When you're not used to getting double teamed, sometimes you get in a hurry. The Bulls are double teaming Shandon Anderson, and Isaiah, he's trying to do it too quickly. Read the double team, find the open man. You're playing 4-on-3 somewhere else.
Pippen to Kerr, now he has it back. Hornacek has him on a switch. Scotty looking to use his height advantage. But Hornacek's all over him. 3 on the shot clock. Pippen, a lunging shot that is no good. And the rebound is taken by Stockton. Pushing it up the floor, bumping with Pippen. Healing to Morris, who was fouled as the shot spills off.
Now you watch Michael Jordan in the low post as he gives Anderson a little bump and just turns right into the lane. You notice he went right into the middle. Now watch this. I'm going to take you to the middle. Oops. No, I'm not. I'm going to shoot the fadeaway J on the baseline. Always gives you a different look, so you never know where he's going. That's why he's so effective in the low post. Never see the same move twice.
Relatively slow start for Michael. As you know, if the Jazz can stave off elimination, we'll go back to Utah on Sunday, Game 6. We'll be on the air at 7:30 Eastern Time. With, at that point, Chicago holding a 3-2 lead. That's if the whole thing doesn't end tonight. Game 6, Sunday on NBC. Kukoc has returned to a substantial ovation. Harper's also back in. Morris hits the first free throw.
Now this is Chicago's speed team out on the floor. Let's see if they try to pick up the defensive pressure, try to maybe do a little half-court trap or some full-court traps after free throws.
Anderson's got Michael. Pippen with 6 on the shot clock. Michael baseline fadeaway. High archer, good. A beautiful rainbow, and he's beginning to feel it now. Hornacek in traffic, tough shot, won't fall. Rebound batted around and finally taken by Kukoc.
If Utah scores, Chicago scores, I take a timeout.
They don't as Pippen misses the 3, but it's out of bounds to the Bulls.
Perfect defense here by Shandon Anderson, but there's really nothing you can do. Look at the rainbow touch. That's just sweet. I mean, that's just nice, Doug Collins. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, and it's so discouraging when you're guarding him twice. He's now beat the shot clock with those kind of shots.
Here he is backing in on Anderson. Double team. They swing it over to Harper. He misses off the baseline, and Morris takes the rebound. There's a whistle in the backcourt as Rodman and Malone were entangled, and it's number 1 on Dennis.
Keep our eye on Dennis Rodman. He just grabbed him. Not a whole lot there. He just sort of grabbed him by the waist.
I thought Malone tripped Dennis Rodman right there.
Sure looked that way.
I think he grabbed him at the waist, and then I think he tripped Rodman. I think that was the second one.
Here's Malone. Nice pass to Morris. And a foul in the lane. It's number 2 on Pippen. Pippen is 0 for 5 from the floor in this first half. He hasn't scored, but he does have 7 assists.
So that's what happens, though. If Scottie Pippen goes a little bit cold, Tony Kukoc picks up the slack. It seems like 2 of those 3 guys, Bob, are always getting him some points.
Hornacek behind Malone's screen. Got it.
See, I like what they're doing there. Instead of having Stockton in the screen and roll, they got Hornacek on the screen and roll because Hornacek can come off and shoot the jump shot.
And Bennett Salvatore says, hold on.
So they're trying to get Hornacek involved. And they're running a little screen and roll here. Jordan gets caught up on the screen. And Hornacek can pull up and hit that little J right in the mid-range area.
Hornacek, meanwhile, just committed his 2nd foul. Each team has 4 team fouls. Each will be over the limit with their next one. 3:10 to play. Anderson poked it away, but Chicago keeps it.
Did you see Michael Jordan? He said, throw to my outside hand, my left hand, not my right hand. He'll pick that one off, which he almost did.
Malone still not getting much help from Stockton and Hornacek. Here's Pippen. Doubled. Finds Michael, who is stripped. And Hornacek takes it. Ahead from Malone. Rodman racing back. Malone slams it.
Uh-oh. Malone gives Rodman a shot. Gave him an elbow after the play. And Billy Oaks saw it, Bob.
Hey, but you know what, Doug? I'm glad Karl Malone in Utah finally got mad. This is the first time in 5 games that one of the players has gotten a technical foul. It's about time you show some anger and a little emotion and say, hey, I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, I agree with that. It's a technical foul. Michael was shooting. Remember the possession before, they got caught up a little bit and Karl tried to trip him. So I think Malone is saying, look, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down physically, and he's the guy that's going to have to do it.
But see, that's the soldier's mentality of a Karl Malone. He's not the leader, but he's going to fight for your team, and he's going to put up a good fight. You see him here on the fast break as he leaks out, and watch out there. Say, okay, big man.
I don't know. That's kind of iffy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a technical foul. But you see Malone going in here for the fast break. And Ahmad told us it actually looked worse with the naked eye than it does in this replay. And I think the officials are trying to get control of this game right away. I don't think I would have called that, but if you go back to the last play with Malone and Rodman getting tangled up, and now this play, you see the officials are really trying to keep a tight lid on it.
Let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, Bob. Jerry Sloan asked Karl Malone during that timeout, was it a foul? He said, no, that's a bad foul. As we watched Michael Jordan go in, fouled by Shandon Anderson. He said, that's a bad call. I didn't even get a good shot in. Bob?
Thanks, Jim, and nice job covering the play-by-play in the meantime. Jordan hit the technical a moment ago, which gave Chicago the 1-point lead. Now he has a chance for a 3-point play, and he scored 12.
Remember now, Chicago loves to spurt at the end of quarters. This is going to be a 4-point little swing here, a technical, and then a 3-point play. Right now, the Jazz, poise and patience, execution. They can't let the Bulls push it up to 6 or 8 here.
Hornacek holding it, and finally to Malone, playing a little 2-man game. Now Stockton, off Malone's hands, stolen by Jordan. Pippen on his right, Morris is back, Scottie is fouled.
See, Isaiah, when Utah is throwing that ball in the post, I think they've got to throw a cutter through there. As they're standing, what the Bulls are doing is sinking in the lap and then getting right back out, and they're getting bogged down, not getting much movement.
That was great help defense that time by Dennis Rodman. As Stockton went to drive baseline, he came off his post player. And you watch Rodman guard Malone as he comes over and he shuts off the baseline, forces the turnover because of his size. That's just great post defense. Bob Knight, Dean Smith couldn't have taught it any better. By the way, you too, Doug Collins.
Pippen was scoreless until those 2 free throws.
on a 6-point run now.
In the lane, Rodman is hit with a foul despite his protest. You know, when the games are as low scoring as these games generally have been, each basket, each difference in the score takes on a disproportionate weight. A 6-point lead in a game that's 32-26 with 2 minutes to play in the half seems kind of big.
Well, Bob, the Kings that used to be Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons, you would look up at a scoreboard and say, we're only down 6. But to get 6 points against them, it would take you about 12 possessions. That's how good they were. That's how good the Chicago Bulls are defensively also.
And when one of the most reliable free throw shooters in the league misses, that doesn't help your case either. Has Chicago played great defense? Absolutely. Has Utah missed open opportunities? Yes. Hornacek fails to hit either one. Jordan can't make it 8. But Pippen, in between 3 Jazz players, pulls down the offensive rebound. It'll still be Chicago ball. Looking to open it up before halftime. It's Michael slipping, regaining his footing. Pippen knocked away, out of bounds to Chicago again.
But those second shots, I know we've talked about it the whole series, but what it does, you get more field goal attempts when you turn it over, when you give up offensive rebounds, so you can shoot under 40% and still win games.
Morris on Kukoc. Tony into the lane, lost the ball but was fouled. Couldn't quite retain control of it in order to finish with the basket, but he's coming to the free throw line. Both teams are over the limit. Tomorrow on NBC, Paul Hogan, Beverly D'Angelo, and Cuba Gooding Jr. star in the comedy Lightning Jack, followed by Profiler. It all begins at 8, 7 Central tomorrow night on NBC.
Utah's got to pull out now a play that's a go-to play for them. They need a basket. Whatever they can do, whether they get to the free throw line, make their free throws, they've got to get a play here that they can execute and get a score.
Kukoc misses 2, so he's stuck on 15 points for the moment. Malone, little bit of room. Hits it over Rodman. 14 in the first half for Malone. Hornacek poking at it, but can't take it away from Pippen, and now Scotty wheels to the basket and hits off the glass with the left hand. Drive. Brings it back outside to Shandon Anderson. Malone, double teamed. Stockton, 3 seconds to shoot. Got to get it off. Air ball, 24-second violation.
See, Stockton's got to shoot that shot. He had an open jump shot, and he passed it up, and he got his team in trouble.
Trying to drive on the baseline, and there's too many trees there. It's tall timber. Can't see out of it. Got to take those open shots when they present themselves.
I think you're going to see him try to throw maybe here. Go to Kukoc against Malone, I think, in an offensive set here to try to stretch him out and go one-on-one.
Bushler, who's a 3-point threat, is in the game for the first time. Camped in the corner. Malone on Kukoc, all the way to the hoop. 17 points in this first half. Down court to Anderson, trying to get it back, and does just before the buzzer. A huge hoop for Shandon Anderson. And now Malone breaks it up at the other end. And that's the way the first half concludes. Chicago by 6 in pursuit of champions.
Off the pass, not the dribble. On the defensive end, they want to keep forcing the turnovers, block out a little bit better, and try to stop Utah from scoring in transition. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Well, Jerry Sloan's going to start Antoine Carr in the second half at center. He's going to move Karl Malone over to try and stop Tony Kukoc defensively. He's very unhappy with all the turnovers, 13 turnovers. He told his team, hey, guys, we can't expect to win this game if you do this in the second half. He's also unhappy with the layups. He wants his team to finish just 6 of 15 from the layups in the first half. Bob?
Jim, thanks. Third quarter underway. Malone operating against Longley. Trouble with the dribble, but recovers. Pippen gets a hand on it. 5 seconds to shoot. Malone will. And that's the way the third quarter starts. A good sign for Utah, although their offense was not executed well on that possession. Malone continues to shoot well, especially from the perimeter. 16 for Karl, who coached the game's high man with 17. Driving on Malone, dishing to Longley, who can't hit, and Russell has the rebound.
See, Antoine Carr's in the game. He's playing Longley, and he can also make open shots.
And a whistle from Bill Oakes. A foul on Harper. Longley continues to struggle. He has not been as effective generally as Rodman has been defensively against Malone. And in Game 4, he had only 2 points and 3 rebounds, and he hasn't done much offensively tonight either.
Well, he's really playing a power forward on offense, and I think it's taken it out of his rhythm. Normally, he likes to play in there closer to the basket. It's hard for him to play Malone.
Karl turns to face the basket. Shoots over Luke. 2 in a row to start the half.
See, Bob, the difference between Rodman and Longley is Rodman can body up against him and take that quick jumper and make him put it on the floor and give help. Longley has to back off and give him space, and he can make the shot against him.
A 2-point game again. Harper left alone for 3.
That was a big shot for Ron Harper. You see how he felt after he made it, because now that stretches the defense, and they have to be honest inside with Hornacek guarding Pippen.
Harper's first basket of the night. Coming just when Utah was making some headway. It's Malone again, inside of Longley. 6 quick points for him at the outset of the third.
That was great spacing and great patience, and Stockton with a little lob over the top when Longley fronted in the post.
Malone has 20. Responding in Game 5. Russell on Jordan. Single coverage. Now Stockton comes over. Michael loses it. Carr in the lane. Left hand, got it. A 1-point game.
Now remember, Kukoc has trouble with power. Isaiah, remember in the Indiana series with Dale Davis, Antoine Carr can give him that presence. He can score.
And Carr is a great offensive scorer, and he can get hot and get in a rhythm. He's one of the great streak post-up players in the game.
Jordan on Russell, into a crowd, dishes out to Kukoc. He is just on fire, and intermission did nothing to cool him off.
Well, how often have we talked when Tony Kukoc gets off to a great start, he gets great rhythm in his game, and that's been the case tonight.
He's 8 for 8. And a whistle inside as Longley tries to contend with Malone, and Luke picks up his second.
Karl Malone's gotten off to a great start in the third quarter. Now watch the space that Longley has to give him. He's worried about his quickness. He gets his rhythm, jumps up, and shoots the jumper.
They go back to Malone. Backing in on Longley. Looking for help. Now shooting one off balance, and he gets the roll on it to bring Utah back to within 1 and give himself 22. Jordan gathers in the miss. Longley bumping off Stockton, but can't finish it. Utah with a chance to take the lead. Hornacek for three. Off the front of the rim. Knocked away from Harper by Stockton, but a foul on John. It's his first.
Now you watch the steal on the other end by Stockton. Longley has a tendency to bring that ball below his waist, and when you bring it down there, those little guards like Stockton and myself, we like to get down there in vulture territory. Stockton needs to come down the court, settle down on the fast break. He had Hornacek for a wide open jump shot.
Jordan with 8 on the shot clock. The fadeaway isn't there. Rebound to Stockton. Longley poked it away. Malone recovers, shoots, and misses.
One step out farther than his range, Bob.
Jordan scoops it up and misses. Pippen is there to clean it up.
Malone working inside the post, gets Longley on his back, makes sure that he's there, turns, wheels up underneath of him because Longley can't block his shot. That's where he needs to be, inside, and that's what he's been doing all night long.
Sensational tonight. You see him with a great pull-up move on Rodman, having success against Rodman tonight, taking the ball to him. 2 scores there, and then Luke Longley steps out and shoots the jumper. Once again with the open jump shot. The front in the post, the lob over the top. And Karl Malone has been terrific here tonight, keeping his team in the game. You see right now, Luke Longley, he's 7 for 12 against 10 for 14, but Dennis Rodman, 4 of 6 for 8 points. Remember, the other night he only had 2 points against Rodman.
And in recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Maybe as important as the points or the total shots, he's managed to hoist 18, but this is his first trip to the free throw line. In the first half, Utah had only 4 free throws, while the Bulls had 10. And for this series, Utah's averaging 17 free throws a game. Their season average was 32. Per game, the Bulls are taking 10 more foul shots than Utah. Part of the reason why they lead 3 games to 1. Working on Malone and loses it to Karl. Malone against Rodman. Utah looking for the lead. Stockton to the basket, and Utah in front. Stockton took a tumble, but he's okay.
That was a very physical series. Antoine Carr gave Rodman a shot. Stockton went in for a layup, and he got a shot upside the head on the fall.
Pippen misses the 3. Hornacek back the other way. He pulls up and gives Utah a 4-point lead.
Antoine Carr has really helped this team. He's given them another offensive player. He's given them a physical presence outside. This is the best rhythm they've been in all night long, Bob.
Out of the corner, Harper. Tough shot. Can't hit it. Rodman chases the rebound down. Stockton knocks it out of bounds. It belongs to Chicago. Utah has outscored the Bulls so far in the quarter, 17-7. Surrounded by 3 purple shirts. Harper and Stockton collide, and Harper is hit with the foul.
Bob, I get a sense here Utah is starting to get a little confidence right now. They're getting a little rhythm. Defensively, they're aggressive. Stockton has gone back, stripping at the post. shoulder in Stockton's back, and they call the foul.
The ball goes off Carr's hand at the other end, and Rodman takes it. Scotty, stutter step on Hornacek. Deal out to Harper. Kukoc hasn't missed one until now. Loose ball, 4-4, and a foul. It's on Russell. It's his second. A double technical, apparently, on Stockton and Pippen. No shots are taken. Double technical, Stockton and Pippen. Scotty inside, and an immediate whistle.
There's the elbow to the head from Scottie Pippen on Stockton. And then Stockton came over and said something to the official, and he got his technical foul, but he was not happy, as well he should not be.
Trying to slice through, knocked out of bounds, but no foul.
Now you see what Utah is doing right now. It's become a very physical game. And this is the way Indiana played them. Slow the game down, pound them inside, and put your body on Chicago every time they move.
Michael again. Got it! Plus the foul. That's his first basket of the second half. It's the third foul on Russell, and Michael has 15 for the night.
Now Jordan, sensing the physical play, will go inside, try to get to the basket, knowing that the referees now will send him to the foul line, and he'll try to use Utah's aggressiveness against him.
And now another double technical. Hornacek and Rodman each slapped with a tee.
See, that's why you saw the technical foul early on Malone, because when a game like this, as tempers start to flare, these officials say we're going to try to get this under control. And that's why you've seen the multiple technical fouls here, the double technicals in this quarter.
Jordan completes the three-point play. Utah leads it by 1. And the whistle blows again. Man, can they call it any tighter? The officials are really taking charge here in the third quarter.
Bob, here's my concern right now if I'm Jerry Sloan. John Stockton's played almost 8 minutes this quarter. Normally he's resting by now. Isley really struggled in the first half. He's got to buy some minutes for Stockton here, but he's got to be concerned about what Isley's going to do when he comes in.
The foul was Jordan's third. Let's watch it. Oh yeah, elbow to the face. Hornacek hit the first. And now the second. The Bulls are over the foul limit of the quarter. Utah will be with their next one. Carr is on Michael. Jumper over it.
Carr did everything right. Michael just did it better. Kept him in front of him, had a hand in his face. That's why he's the greatest player in the game.
They go to Malone, who kicks it back out to Stockton. Carl with the turnaround. Good over Rodman, who fouled him.
Now you watch Michael recognizing a mismatch. He'll take Carr off the dribble, give him the step back, gets his momentum going backwards, then he falls into the J.
When is Jerry Sloan going to rest John Stockton? That's going to be critical in this game, Bob.
If I'm John Stockton, Doug, I don't come out of this game. I say I'm going to play it out. I'm fighting for my life. Don't take me out right now, coach.
Malone on his way to his best game of the series. Has scored 26. His team is up by 4. Michael given a little room by Russell. Drives on it to the hoop. And he's got 20. eventually pops off the bench, so apparently Stockton will get a rest soon. Malone doubled with Harper coming over. Now it's Rodman on Malone. Again, Harper tries to... The hook is no good. And Pippen clears it. Chicago looks to tie or take the lead with a three. Jordan can't tie it. The line drive rebound to Russell. Again, Malone is their first option. Again, out of that left block where he likes it. Across the lane, contact with Rodman. And it's on Dennis, which will be his fourth. Not nearly as effective on Malone tonight as he had been earlier in the series.
But Isaiah, we've talked about this all along. Karl Malone wheel in there and put the onus on the official. Is it a block or is it a charge? They call the foul on Dennis Rodman. Jerry Sloan likes this call. Karl Malone is going to shoot 2 free throws.
2:31 to play in the third.
Remind you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time. And by Intrigue by Oldsmobile, a sophisticated twist on a sports sedan.
The view from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls, pilot Richard Daniels from Burbank, California.
Karl Malone has been terrific tonight. He's taken a lot of criticism, but tonight he's put his team on his shoulders. You see the open jump shot where he buries it. Steps out once again against Longley and hits a medium-range jump shot. Now he's got it deep in the post, and he attacks Dennis Rodman. This is what he has to continue to do. Karl Malone has taken a lot of heat through this series, Isaiah, but tonight he's been the guy. Now the rest of his team has to come along with him. They have a 2-point lead, and they got to bring this home if they want to get to a Game 6.
Problem is for Utah right now, Malone is the only one who's involved. Offensively, they don't have a player yet who scratched double figures.
Only Malone scored in double figures for them in their horrible game in Game 3 when they scored only 54. And that would have also been true in the Game 4 loss had not Brian Russell hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to give him exactly 10. Malone makes it 54-50. Rodman with 4 fouls on the bench. Stockton also resting for Utah. Thought about it, gives it back to Pippen. Hornacek on it. Jumper over Jeff. Won't go, but the rebound bounces to Longley, who can't finish it, but eventually the tip is there.
Looked like Luke Longley got away with a little push in the back there to get that offensive rebound. Pressure's on Howard Eisley here, Bob. 4 turnovers in 9 minutes in the first half.
After playing so well earlier in the playoffs and in Game 1 of this series. Malone. He continues to carry the Utah Jazz as they try to stave off elimination. Malone has 30. Michael, 4 seconds to shoot. Rebound to Eisley, who saves it into Carr. Utah looks to increase a 4-point lead. Hornacek spins to the hoop and is fouled.
Now you watch Malone in the post. Jordan can't really help because he's guarding Hornacek, and Malone takes his time, turns around, and shoots the jumper right over Longley. And you watch Hornacek now getting himself involved, forcing the action, driving to the basket. Now he's on the free throw line with a chance to make 2 free throws and push this lead to 6.
The foul a moment ago on Kukoc was his first. This weekend, the WNBA begins its second season on NBC. Tomorrow at 4 Eastern, a rematch of last year's championship game. Rebecca Lobo and the Liberty take on MVP Cynthia Cooper and the champion Houston Comets. Then Sunday, also at 4 Eastern, Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks face Michelle Timms and Cheryl Miller's Phoenix Mercury. Over 17,000 fans attended the Cleveland Rockers opening night victory over the New York Liberty last night. Some interest in the WNBA.
Adam Keefe is in the game right now for Antoine Carr, who gave them a great 11 minutes.
Pippen, catch and shoot, and it spills off into the hands of Keefe. The pass from Hornacek hit the side of the backboard, but Longley, in the meantime, fouled Malone. That's 4 on Longley. Rodman also has 4 as they try to defend Malone.
Well, Utah was very fortunate here because this ball hit the corner of the board. Malone posting, they said Luke Longley grabbed his arm on that little post play, but stay active, keep going into post.
Now, this is when Chicago really gets in trouble because with Rodman with 4 fouls, Longley with 4 fouls, they become very tentative. And once you get past Rodman and Longley, Doug, they have no big men on the bench. This is again where the loss of a Brian Williams or a Jason Caffey may come into play.
The first one rattles out on Carl. Muttering to himself, as is his style, before releasing it. 1 of 2.
I tell you, Bob, if you can get a stop here, you're up 7, and they get a score, you go up 9. That means you outscore the Bulls 15 points in this quarter. That would be huge after the poor first half offensively.
Five on the shot clock. Kukoc for 3. How big is that? The buzzer from beyond half court. And despite Kukoc's 3 near the end of the period, it's still a huge quarter for Malone and the Jazz. Down by 6 at halftime, up by 9 as we head for the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, Tony Kukoc with 22 points already has a career playoff high. We're back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Utah with its biggest scoring period of the series. A 29-point third, enters the 4th quarter of Game 5, up by 4. The period will begin with Karl Malone, who has scored 30 points, resting at least for a while. But how long, Zeke, can you keep him out?
If I'm Karl Malone, I would stay out about a minute, and then I'll go back and tell Jerry Sloan, put me back in this game, and I'll finish it off. Because right now they have the pace and the rhythm of the game the way they like it. It's a slow game, and you're not going to expend too much energy in this type of game.
Meanwhile, Stockton can't take much of a breather. He's back on the floor because Isley has been completely ineffective. Jordan guarded by Russell. Pippen, before he can take the shot, it's whistled off. The 3 won't count. Scotty is 0 for 6 from 3-point range, and that could have gotten him untracked, but they wave it off. Foul on Keefe is his 3rd.
Jerry Sloan has really got to keep an eye on this lineup right now because Pippen and Jordan are in the game. You know they're going to try to go on a spurt here. So if he feels anything at all, call a timeout, get Malone back in the game. You cannot let Chicago go on a run.
Kerr hits the 3. 3-pointers by Kukoc near the end of the 3rd. And Kerr at the beginning of the 4th make it a 1-point game. Foul apparently on Michael, and if so, that's 4 on him.
Bob, how do 2 possessions change the game so quickly? Utah in control, up 7, back-to-back 3s, make it a 1-point game.
Stockton looking for Anderson. They're kind of adrift offensively without Malone. That's one way to cure it, though, as Russell sticks a 3. Back up by 4. Into the lane, dishes it back out to Kerr. And he can't hit his second straight 3 as it rattles in and out, and Longley grabs the rebound and is fouled by Carr. Malone's coming back. He sat out only 1 minute and 16 seconds at the start of the 4th.
I think that's a great substitution because Antoine Carr played 11 minutes of the 3rd quarter, and he has not played that many minutes. And you also were getting stagnant here. You were trying to post up Shandon Anderson against Michael Jordan. I don't like that matchup.
I would live and die from here on out with my 1-2 punch of Stockton and Malone.
Pippen. Scotty again. Turnaround. He's just 2 of 14 for the night. Stockton's going to have to carry the load in this 4th quarter because I'm not so sure Sloan's going to trust Isley down the stretch. It's Malone again.
You know what I loved about that? Brian Russell cut through, and when he did, Longley had to step back and give him some space. When they stand, the Bulls can dig and get back to their own people.
Malone with 33. Utah by 6. Scotty misses the 3. Longley cuts at the 4.
Scottie Pippen's having a horrible shooting night right now. He's got to get a little bit more smarter about the shots that he's taking.
Anderson into the lane and to the basket.
Now remember, that's the guy that missed the 2 critical layups last year that might have won the game here for his team, Game 6, that would have pushed to Game 7.
Longley finds Michael, thinks him out of 3, instead spins into the lane and scoops it up, no good. Rebound out to Russell, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Stockton for the slam that somehow fell. He actually missed it, but it popped up out of the basket and fell through, luckily for him and Utah. And now the Jazz has their biggest lead at 8. Look at this. Utah's been unlucky in some sequences in this series, but not this time. It's Utah by 8. Once again, our thanks to Captain Richard Daniels and the crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes for tonight's overhead shots.
The importance of cutting when you throw the ball in the post instead of standing. What happens is, now watch Luke Longley as this ball goes into the post right here, and you make the cut. Longley's going to drop just enough to allow Malone to turn and get the shot. He has to protect against the cutter, freeze it up in rhythm. That's why you've got to make the Bulls move. You cannot stand and let them dig into the post and then recover.
Malone 14 for 22. Utah as a team, an incredible 14 for 18 in the second half. Jordan spinning, popping, missing. Rebound to Malone, acting like he wanted it. Stockton playing heavy minutes at age 36. 6 points, 10 assists, 5 steals, only 1 turnover. Malone into the lane. Doesn't get the roll this time, and Pippen snatches it down. Kerr, room for a 3.
Steve Kerr hits huge shots.
And Utah throws it away with exactly 8 minutes to play. And Chicago gets it back down by 5.
See, if you're Stockton, you got to be smarter right now. Call Malone down into the post, and don't try to go at Anderson. Get the ball to Malone in the post.
Hold on, says Bennett Salvatore.
Steve Kerr in the open floor, nobody covering him. Hits the big three. That's 2 threes now he's hit to keep his team close.
Chris Morris just picked up his 4th foul away from the ball. It's Utah's 3rd team foul. The Bulls have only 1. Michael with room and knowing what to do with it.
Bob, you got to go back now to Karl Malone and Stockton. They have got to carry this team right now.
Michael, meanwhile, has 22. They heed your advice and give it to Malone. And he has 35. Utah by 5. Jordan deals to Longley, who connects off the baseline.
How about that shot? Luke Longley has struggled all night long and steps out, and Michael Jordan trusts him enough to give him the 18-footer.
Malone trying to back in on Longley. Instead, his pass eludes Morris, but there to pick it up is Russell. Beats the shot clock and misses the 3. But it's taken by Malone. Utah with more success on the offensive glass tonight than at any time in the series. Russell poked away, taken by Morris. Russell again, gotta force it. And Chicago comes away with the ball. It's Michael. No shot, foul as he made his move. And it's 5 on Chris Morris.
Now you watch
This thing back to Salt Lake City, or he's going to go out with guns blazing. He's 15 of 24 and looking to score every time he sees the ball.
Bob, I think Stockton really needs to get involved offensively. He's only got 6 points. He's only taken 7 shots. At the end of the game, when you look at the Utah Jazz, Stockton is the guy in the last 5 minutes who's their clutch player, and he's got to take over this game right now.
Kerr, confronted by Carr, now Stockton catches up. Anderson's on Jordan. Michael into the lane, ball knocked free. He thought he was fouled. Instead, it's out of bounds off Chicago.
Let's see who guards Antoine Carr. If it's a smaller player, I think you've got to go with him in the post against Kukoc right now.
Stockton. Nice feed inside the Carr. And with the head fake, he shakes himself free for the layup.
See, he's got the power over Kukoc because Longley's playing against Malone now. That's a matchup that can hurt them, Isaiah, if they don't come back with Rodman.
And also Kerr is in the game now guarding Stockton, and Stockton has an advantage. He can see over Kerr to make passes.
Michael with 5 on the shot clock. Spins into the lane and draws contact, which will bring him to the foul line.
Now, the last time down, Jordan thought he was fouled. He didn't get the call here, and it led to this at the other end. Jordan understands. Stockton now can get on the baseline against Kerr, sees the passing lane for Antoine Carr. But you have Jordan on the line, and more importantly right now, Doug, they're in the bonus. So every time Chicago gets fouled, they're going to the free throw line.
And meanwhile, Chicago, as Rodman returns, along with Harper, Chicago has only 1 team foul with 5:02 to play in the period.
Chicago now is going to their defensive lineup. Now they've got Harper and Rodman back in the game, but Antoine Carr is going to be guarded by Kukoc. So if they load up on Malone, he can score for them. They need not let him go out there without going to him a little bit.
Michael cuts it to 3 with the 2 free throws. Malone finds Carr from 20. Got it.
See, now with Malone getting off on the inside in the post. Now Chicago has to come and double team. And when you come and double team, they have shooters on the floor.
And a whistle before Jordan releases the pass inside to Pippen, an offensive foul. It'll be Scotty, his third.
See, what Antoine Carr gives you is a big man who can shoot. So if they're going to go down and double team, he can make the 15-foot shot. Keefe can't. Foster is streaky, and neither can Ostertag. They've gone to a smaller lineup, and it's been effective.
Stockton around Harper, then circling back. Running everything off of Malone. Backing in on Dennis. Stockton. 3 seconds to shoot, and Pippen fouled him. The basket doesn't count, but the foul is Pippen's fourth.
Bob, this is a critical possession. They're up 5. If they can push it to 7 or 8, this would be a big, big possession for Utah.
Pippen, Longley, and Rodman all have 4 fouls at this stage. Then scoops it up and in.
They're afraid to double team because everybody can shoot the ball now for Utah. They got to stay at home.
37 for Malone. Utah by 7. Knocked away from Jordan, recovered by Harper. They throw it away into the backcourt, and Utah will have it.
But I like what Utah is doing right now on the offensive end. They haven't gone to the pick and roll, and they keep going to Karl Malone in the post. In the last game, in the last 5 minutes, all they ran was pick and roll. Now you see all they're doing is feeding the big fella in the post.
Stockton. Underneath to Anderson, cutting baseline, but he couldn't finish it.
Like Tony Kukoc got a piece of it at the last moment. Big defensive play.
Jordan double pumping. And Bennett Salvador spots a foul. Shandon Anderson's second.
Look at Karl Malone take his time. Rodman is not a shot blocker, so he'll take his time. The little up and under that gives his team the 7-point lead. But Bob, we talked about the importance of having some fouls to give. Right now, Chicago shoots the rest of the way.
That cuts it to 6. Flash bulbs popping all around the United Center every time Michael Jordan steps to the line. People trying to save the moment. Among the many possibilities, and who knows how it will play out, but among the many possibilities is that this is Michael Jordan's final game as a Chicago Bull. If they win it tonight, or his final game here at least, possibly, if they have to go back to Salt Lake City to finish the series one way or the other. Out of bounds to Utah, 6 on the shot clock, 2:49 on the game clock, Jazz by 5, and we'll be back.
It's so reliable, you could practically weld the hood shut and drive it forever. The new Corolla. And it has available side airbags. So don't be surprised if you feel safer in your new Corolla than out of it.
At Braun, we thought about shaving, so you could think about something else. Braun, smart thinking.
Shuffling papers all day long requires concentration. Someone hold my calls, I'm on a Big Mac vacation. Did somebody say McDonald's?
To prove his innocence, an honest cop is taking the police hostage.
You are not in control!
On July 31st, negotiations are over.
Right now, I'm the only thing standing between you and an army that's just itching to take you out.
And the action begins.
Pull the trigger!
Samuel L. Jackson.
You want my blood? Take my blood!
Kevin Spacey.
I can't hold them back anymore. They're coming up.
The Negotiator, rated R. Negotiations begin Friday, July 31st everywhere.
Wednesdays this summer.
He defends the weak and abused.
Only one man,
let me help you,
can become anyone.
Hello.
Who the hell are you?
Jared Barber.
The Pretender, NBC Wednesdays this summer.
Antoine Carr has been a big factor here for the Utah Jazz. In the second half, he's 4 of 4. He's given them another guy on the floor that can shoot. So now you have to honor all their players. Bob, big here, 6 seconds on the shot clock. If you're Utah, you've got to get a shot off and hopefully a score. It's 2:50 to go and you're up 5.
It'll be Malone to throw it in. Hornacek, catch, shoot, long. Rebound fought for. Carr tries to save it in, but Kukoc grabs it. Two and a half minutes to play. Jordan's jumper is off. Loose ball. Jordan's got it. Another try. Pittman's tip. And finally, a rebound battle and a whistle as Carr grabbed it, and Rodman reached around him and picks up his 5th.
Now, this is Rodman's 5th foul, so he'll be very tentative. You see him fighting for the loose ball rebound. Jordan's attacking the basket, trying to get to the foul line. No foul. Rodman reaches over, ties up Antoine Carr.
Here's Malone, 8 on the shot clock. Out to Hornacek. Off the dribble, gets rid of it to Carr. Can he hit again? Yup!
He's been the man tonight. I don't know where he's been early in this series, but Antoine Carr, if they win this game tonight, will be the key factor.
They're up by 7 with 1:50 on the clock. Kukoc cashes the 3! He's got 25 on 10 of 11. Hornacek. Carr into the lane. Finds Anderson open. Rodman grabs the rebound. Jordan just 1 of 6 in this 4th quarter. That won't stop him, though. He was fouled, and he'll come to the line with 1:13 to play, and the Bulls down by 4.
Well, Antoine Carr hits a big shot. The ball goes loose. He finds it and puts his team up 7, but Kukoc comes back with a huge 3 to make it 4.
Michael's 8 of 9 at the line tonight.
And this was the big Kukoc 3. Look at Malone playing so far off of him. You got to get up and put the defense on him. Make him put that ball on the floor. Nothing easy right now if you're the Jazz.
Two-point game. Just moments ago, it was 7. From Stockton. Malone, 39 points, and personally pushing this series back toward Utah.
And Jerry Sloan likes what he's getting out of the big fella tonight. You watch Malone on the low block being very aggressive. Dennis Rodman has 5 fouls, so he really can't challenge him the way he wants to. Malone turns around, squares up, and watch Jerry Sloan give him the...
Turns to NBC, Saturday at 4 East.
With Malone leading the way, Utah is 20 of 30 as a team in the second half. They have 50 second half points after scoring just 30 in the first 24 minutes.
Now Bob Phillips substituted and put his shooters on the floor now, so he has Kerr out there instead of Harper in case they help. You got a 3-point shooter. If a shot is missed, if you're Utah, 5 guys must be on the board. No second shots for Chicago now.
It'll be Kukoc to throw it in. Michael's got it. Double team. Kukoc open for three. Missed it. And Utah has the rebound. That's only the second miss of the night for Kukoc, but that one didn't even draw iron. Stockton. 12 on the shot clock. Carr brings it back out. Malone will shoot it and miss it off the back iron. Chicago still has a chance. Michael, Tony again for three. And he was fouled and will shoot 3 free throws.
What a mental mistake by Karl Malone. I don't know if he was on the line there, but if not, that's a 3-point shot, so 3 free throws. Let's see if he's behind the line.
Yep.
Oh, 3 free throws. That is a costly mistake for Utah.
With 18.9 seconds. Kukoc, whose previous career playoff high was the 21 points he scored in the Game 7 clincher here against Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals, has 26 tonight.
Now you got Harper coming back in for Steve Kerr. Remember, he got a big steal against Stockton for defensive purposes right now.
Bob, the one thing now is Utah doesn't have to shoot. So if they get it down here across, they want to have it in the hands of a good free throw shooter. The shot clock is off.
Utah has not been to the line in this quarter. Chicago is perfect from the stripe until that shot. The rebound is grabbed by Russell, and he's never taken down a bigger one. There's an immediate foul, and it's Pippen's 5th. Hornacek to Stockton. They play a game of keep away. It's Carr. Kukoc chases him and fouls him.
See, John Stockton, to me, should have kept that ball in his hands. Even though Antoine Carr is hot right now, Isaiah, I would much rather have him shooting those 2 free throws right now with his experience, even though Carr has been hot.
I agree with you, Doug.
Carr steps to the line and cans a huge free throw. He's a 77% free throw shooter. 14-year veteran out of Wichita State. A 4-point Utah lead. Timeout Chicago. 10.4 seconds remaining in Game 5. And how important has Carr been down the stretch? This is Kukoc after missing the 3rd free throw. He had made the first 2, but couldn't make it a triple. We'll be back. Stave off elimination. We go back to Utah on Sunday, 7:30 Eastern Time, with the Bulls then leading the series 3 games to 2. Game 6, Sunday night.
Bob, Utah must put up some resistance here. They just can't let the Bulls get a quick one with, 2 seconds or whatever. They love to throw it in quickly to Michael, isolate, and let him go right to the basket.
Kukoc will play it in. Pippen, who's had a poor shooting night, out to Kukoc for 3. He hits it! With 5.5 seconds, it's a 1-point game. Into Stockton. Kerr chasing him. Stockton gets away. Ahead to Hornacek. And Pippen dives to foul him, but with only 1.1 second remaining. They couldn't catch them to foul him soon enough. Even though Kukoc hit the huge 3, his earlier free throw miss is now the difference in the game. 1 point.
Championships are won at the free throw line. And you see Scottie Pippen fouled out here right now. In this game, came in shooting extremely well, but tonight only 2 of 16.
And it will be Hornacek stepping to the line. When he does, He'll go to that distinctive rubbing of the right side of his face. As some of you may know, that's his signal to his children saying hello. In this case, not saying hello and I'll be home to start summer vacation, but maybe hello and see you at Game 6 Sunday. But even if he makes them both, the Bulls will have a chance to tie with a 3. And he won't make them both. The Bulls have one timeout plus a 20. A 2-point Utah lead. Timeout Chicago. Bulls ball at half court. All right, Coach.
Well, that miss is deadly because what it does now is a 2-pointer or 2 free throws tie the game for you. Before you were going to need a 3. They could throw the ball in, you could take a foul, and basically the game would be over. Now you got to be concerned. First of all, you know the Bulls are going to try to get the ball to Michael Jordan or Kukoc. You don't want to give up a 3, but at the same time, you don't want to foul here either. So you've got to try to contest the shot without fouling, and under no circumstances do you give up a 3-point shot. A 3 beats you, a 2 only ties you.
Kukoc, who has had a spectacular shooting night and now has 30 points, is 4 of 6 on threes and 11 of 13 overall from the floor. There's the last one.
See, if I'm Michael Jordan or Tony Kukoc right now, if I can get that ball and create some type of contact, I know we're in a bonus. If I don't have a clean look at it, I'm going to try to draw a foul and get to the foul line. I think if Chicago loses this game, I really think that they fell asleep at the wheel. I think they left home too early. Started celebrating, started thinking about, what we're going to do at the rally, the celebration, Michael Jordan's last home game. I think they lost a lot of their concentration.
Setting Grant Park up already for the anticipated celebration. Remember, if Chicago loses this game, it doesn't just extend the series, it places its ultimate outcome in doubt. Utah's very capable of winning games 6 and 7 at the Delta Center. The whole series can turn on a dime here.
Well, Bob, in our opening, we talked about this series wasn't nearly as lopsided as everybody was talking about, how many close games there were, and how many times Chicago came up with the key plays.
Quickly, let's go to Jim Gray.
Jerry Sloan really didn't have much to say, but what he did say, he said 3 times. No foul, no foul, no foul. Bob?
Utah breaks its huddle first. Hornacek, Stockton, Malone, Russell. And let's see who joins them as the 5th. It's Shandon Anderson.
What they'll do is they'll switch anything right now. So any screen, Bob, will be an automatic switch.
Burrell is a 3-point threat. Kerr, of course, also is. Kukoc and Jordan all line up near the top of the key. Harper's going to throw it in, and Hornacek will be on it. Delay of game warning. Intentionally taken by Utah, and a 20 taken in response by Phil Jackson.
Now here's what happens. This is what you do. The reason you take the delay of game is you see how the other team is lining up, so you know what you want to do to defend it. So Phil called the 20, maybe to put another play out there to change the alignment of what he had. Now my concern here is Jeff Hornacek on the basketball. I would back him off of the ball and get him back in the passing lane, because if he throws it in and they throw back to him, you can't get the shot off. So he really is out of the play with 1.1 second. He needs to get back in the play, double team Michael, do something where you just can't let him throw in and catch and shoot, Bob.
Chicago has used its last time out of any kind. And now Utah will ask for a 20. A 2-pointer ties it and forces overtime. A 3-pointer wins the game and the championship. A miss sends the series back to Salt Lake City.
Doug, with Hornacek, if he backs off the passer, you know, Harper is such a good passer. You don't necessarily want him to get a clean pass to Jordan or the Kukoc with no pressure. You want to try to get that ball in the air so you can possibly get a deflection.
The only thing is, I don't know how big he is to be able to bother that pass. Is the only thing, Isaiah. My big concern is a guy miscommunicating on a switch or whatever, and a guy stepping out to 3 and catching it. You know, if you back off with that kind of time, you can play 5-on-4 defensively. I understand what you're saying. It's just coaching thought, what you want to think about, what you want to do in that situation.
For the record, that was a full timeout taken by Utah, but because it was a back-to-back timeout, the actual elapsed time is only 45 seconds.
They put Ostertag in, Isaiah, to put pressure all over the inbounds passer. So that's a good move. Now you've got a bigger guy who can smother the passer.
Yeah, you don't want that passer to get a clean look.
It'll be Harper to throw it in. Looking for Curran. Stockton knocked it away.
Now only 0.3 of a second. All you can get is a lob if they keep it at 0.3.
But Jackson is lobbying for some extra tenths to be tacked back on. And he's going to get something out of this. Let's see how much. 0.8.
You can still catch and shoot on this.
Into Jordan, a prayer. We go to Utah. Rip up the headlines. It is very much a series. Chicago leads it 3-2. Game 6 in Salt Lake City. And if a 7th is necessary, it's also at the Delta Center. And here's Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Antoine Carr, you turned out to be the difference in the second half. Why did Jerry Sloan put you in? Was it simply to try and change things up?
I think he wanted to bring a little bit of more energy into it, and I was ready to play. I wanted to get in there and bang. I knew if we got more physical with these guys, that we could probably turn up the heat on them.
Absolutely nobody expected this tonight. Where did you guys find the inner strength, and particularly Karl Malone, who's been so criticized?
Well, we don't believe in quitting ever. I think we get all ours from Jerry Sloan. He's a hard-nosed guy, and that's the way we play.
Are you now, would you consider yourselves to be in the driver's seat? Because this is how the series would be had it gone on schedule. 3-2 with the last 2 games, you the home court advantage.
Well, we're down 1 game still, so we have to go home, get ready, and try to get another one. And if we can get that one, then, hey, it's the final game.
Where did you find this offense here in the second half?
Well, I've always got the offense. It's just I got an opportunity to put the ball up, and I was able to put it in the hole.
Karl Malone's performance, how would you describe it?
Gritty, hard-nosed, and once again, great.
Congratulations, Antoine.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's send it down to Ahmad, who's with Karl Malone.
All right, thanks, Jim. The first few games, Karl, everybody was throwing dirt on you. You hadn't had a great game, pressure building, and then tonight you show up with a great game.
Well, I try not to think about all the stuff that was said, Ahmad. I just try to come out and play the same, get myself ready to play as usual. But sometimes you can't help but listen about it or whatever, and everybody had us written off or whatever. We needed to win a game here, we did. But I'm not looking for anything individual. I'm looking for it as a team. You know, we'll let everybody else do all the talking. I'm sure we was taking our doses, but the way this team responded was tremendous, and it showed a lot of heart, a lot of character. I have nothing to say about my game.
Having won this game this evening, what does that do for your confidence going back home?
1 game at a time. Like we said, we needed this game right here, and 1 game at a time. And like I said, if we continue to play as a team, we got a good chance. We're going back home now. Shouldn't get in the comfort zone because those guys are going to give us everything they got on Sunday. But the most important thing, we won the game we needed to win as a team. Not as Karl Malone, but as a team.
Well, Karl Malone, the mailman.
For tonight's game, Phil Housley, who had an ear infection and missed practice yesterday, is dressed and will play here tonight. Darren McCarty moving with Draper. McCarty broke his stick. Good save made by Kolzig on the blade. Puck went behind the net, however. Up the near side, Berube will clear it out. Both teams making their first line changes here. And there's the shot in from center on Osgood. They did not shoot a shot on Osgood from center in game number 3. They get one here in game 4. Hunter in with Simon. Hunter shot behind the net. He wanted to get to Simon on the far side. Simon had already gone by the play.
But he passed up another shot. The Capitals have told themselves repeatedly, we've got to fire when we've got the chance. That was the chance.
Didn't do it. Cleared back up by Joey Junot. Brian Bellows. Osgood a save. Not a pretty one. Came off the blocker that time. And you see the Caps coming out here with the guns a-blazing. Cleared up through center. Gonchar will come back to get it. Gonchar in his own end. Joey Junot leads this team with 16 points in the playoffs. He has 7 goals. Peter Bonder's picked up 7. Gonchar, Zednik also with 7. But for Zednik and Gonchar,